zone with our next round here at Good Morning Magic live from GP Birmingham. Let's head down to the feature match area and see what's up. What's up, nerds? Time to get stuck into some legacy here at GP Birmingham. My name's Riley Knight. I'm joined by the Pro Tour Hall of Famer Raphael Levy, and we have a couple of 8-1 players to get stuck into this morning. Alistair Kenny, Sebastian Finks, and it's my understanding, Raph, that we are going to see just a little bit of spice in the feature match area today. Gone to the spice rack, got the cumin,
okay,
got the paprika,
the curry,
the curry sauce, curry sauce, which is in the spice rack. Yeah. Who put it here? Yeah. Should be in the cupboard.
I can have the curry spice.
The curry spice, yes. Now we got the curry powder. That's right, not the curry sauce. But no, carefully curated decks for you this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know what the card Children of Corliss does.
Yeah, it's a 1/1 for 1.
Yes, it does have other text on it that makes it a little more relevant. It's not just a fugitive wizard.
Do you sacrifice it to do something?
To do something, indeed,
like
yes.
To gain life?
To gain a lot of life.
In a lot of
situations. So Alistair Kennedy is playing a deck called, I guess, well, he's written Abzan Control on his deck list. I think he's having a bit of a laugh. Because obviously this deck is known as Tin Fins, which is also a ridiculous deck name. But it revolves around the interaction between Children of Corliss and Gristlebrand. So you sacrifice the Children of Corliss and you can gain life equal to the life that you've lost, which happens to work very well with Gristlebrand, meaning you draw a lot of cards. Quite a lot of cards.
Because you didn't draw enough cards.
No, 7 cards, not enough cards, Raphael Levy, in many situations. Sebastian Finks, on the other hand, I tell you what, look at this brew. Leovold, Emissary of Trest, Deathrite Shaman.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Brainstorm Ponder, Force of Will.
All right, I've never seen that deck before.
Wow. Groundbreaking stuff here in the feature match area. So Alistair Kennedy, I'm not sure if Finks knows what he's up against here, but a Thoughtseize is not the most unusual start of a basic swamp here, so Finks may be flying blind for a little bit here, and you can see a pretty classic Leovold control deck here. Now, he's opted to play the red in this version. This is classic check par with 4 colors, Raph.
All right, let's see how many red sources he has in his deck. He has 1 Badland, 2 Volcanic Islands, so it's just one more red source than the classic Grixis control.
Yes, that's right. And looking to play cards like Colligan's Command as a result of that, also Lightning Bolt and that sort of thing. I mean, there is a green component to this deck, obviously, for Leovold. But apart from that, I mean, what other cards do we have that are green? I mean, not including Deathrite Shaman.
Let's see. In the main deck?
I think that's it, actually. It's unusual. No Abrupt Decays, nothing.
No, it doesn't.
Wow. All right. So Finks actually playing. I mean,
it's Grixis with Leovold.
It's Leovold. It's Grixis Leovold. So that is okay. Well, I stand corrected. This is actually quite a cool deck here. Something we may not have seen so much of before. Here's a Brainstorm from Finks. Classic legacy play here, a staple of the legacy format, of course, and combined with those fetches to make it all the more sweet. And Finks, it's still unclear as to whether he knows exactly what is going on with Kennedy's list. Kennedy's deck, we can try to explain what's going on here with this list. Again, Children of Corliss, Gristlebrand, the key interaction here, obviously enabling the deck to draw a huge amount of cards. Also plays the classic reanimation package, Entomb, Reanimate, and Agorio's Vengeance as well, because it's not just Gristlebrand they can bring back, but also Emrakul in response to the shuffle trigger. Apart from that, Thoughtseize, Cabal Therapy, Collective Brutality, go after the hand, and Gitaxian Probe, Brainstorm, and Ponder.
So it's only 1 children. So it's probably 1 child.
Yeah, it's child, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not like he's playing like 4 of them.
I guess this deck could be called like Esper Recess, right?
Esper Recess?
Because the children. There's children playing around. Nope. All right. Well, that needed a little bit more time in the oven. Raphael Levy giving me 2 thumbs down.
Just one thumb.
One thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the I appreciate the verdict, Caligula.
For the 1 child of Corliss.
Mate, it says on the card children.
Yeah, it's only 1 though.
It's only one batch of children.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's only like, class 3A that have gone out to recess early.
It's a rebel too.
They're not even children. This is false advertising at its height.
Well, aren't you a child?
Should be grown-ups. Oh, they're children at heart.
Yeah.
It's not grown-ups of Corliss. They're children at heart. They still enjoy going home and playing with their Tonka trucks. So Kennedy now with a Ponder. Still playing those good blue cards. No reason not to.
You could fetch it with Ramosian lieutenants
Okay.
and Ramosian surgeons.
As it's a rebel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or bug raiders.
I guess that it should, if they're rebels, it should be teens of Corliss.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Smashing the system?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
I like it.
Still not getting that thumb up, though.
I give you a thumb up.
Oh, you get a thumb up!
Yeah.
We did it. Ding! Gataxian probe now. Let's see what Fink's working with. Jace the Mind Sculptor joining the hand. Him to Turak still hanging out in there in addition to that brainstorm.
So nothing to really interact with a reanimator spell.
No, not yet.
If that happened.
Maybe could brainstorm into a force here. He's playing the full 4. Now, Finks is going to shuffle away some of those cards we saw put on top with that previous brainstorm here. And we'll see what comes of this here. Fetching out something with his Polluted Delta. Oh, failed to find. Unfortunate. he's already out of all of his lands.
I have my Allen play.
Oh, no. Ah, there we go. Underground Sea. Easy done. Love how this 4-color Legacy deck still finds a way to play basics. Playing 2 of them, Swamp and Island. Wasteland just that good in the format there.
Well, Alistair is playing Island and Swamp as well, so lots of basics in this match. Come on, Gristlebrand to graveyard.
So, him to Turak here is actually maybe a benefit here for Kennedy. Nope, Cabal Therapy. Oh, what a Gristlebrand! There we go. Big hits with the Cabal
big hits.
Big hits with the with him to Turak there.
Entomb, thanks.
And now a Reanimate for Kennedy. He's got the Reanimate, but a Shallow Grave.
Shallow Grave as well.
So Shallow Grave is one of the cards that means that in Legacy you actually shouldn't really ever reorder your graveyard. I don't think you're not allowed to reorder your graveyard in Legacy. You can do it in Modern because there are no cards that affect the order of graveyard. But in Legacy you need to keep your graveyard in a certain order because there are all sorts of ones that interact with the order. There's Deathspark. There's other ones like this.
Do you have other cards?
I already said Deathspark.
Yeah.
I feel like I did a pretty good job. You want another card on top of that one?
Yeah.
Mate, when this card was printed, I was still learning like my times tables.
There's more.
Give us another one.
Another Shadow.
Give us 10 more.
Ashen Ghoul.
Okay, well, you're probably going to be able to do it. Anyway, Shallow Grave means the top creature of the card of the graveyard is, of course, a Gristlebrand. It comes into play.
Corpse Dance. There's a Doppelganger that does that too. If you the top card of your graveyard is a creature, it copies.
Welcome to Naming Old Cards with Grandpa Raph. Draw 7 now for Gristlebrand. And let's see if Kennedy can show us the true power of his final form. Gets that lands in front. Oh, nonsense fixed up.
Gets the kid. The kids.
Oh, you found the kids?
The kids, yeah. Scrubland too.
And to cast them as well. Scrubland. The Raphael Levy Invitational land.
Yeah.
Scrubland.
Exactly,
yeah.
Badland too.
Badland. Yeah, you got 2, didn't you? So out come the teens of Koilos. You're not my real dad. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to the graveyard.
The Grizzle Dad.
Yeah, the Grizzle Dad sending the children of Koilos to their room. Going to gain 7. Oh, and look at that, draw 7 immediately.
1 mana draw 7. That's the dream.
I bet Kennedy's a little annoyed. He's on 7. 1 more life, he could draw another bunch of cards.
He only drew 15.
He's only drawn 15 cards this turn. All right. We're going to discard, are we? Or are we just searching through the cards we need, the cards we don't?
Shallow Grave gives haste, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's exactly Goryo's Vengeance, except instead of top creature, it's legendary for Goryo's Vengeance. So, in comes Grizzle Daddy. Gonna go get some lunch.
So what does he do with the 28 cards in his hand? Is there a thing he can discard to do more stuff? For example, other Gristlebrand decks play, what's it called? Shoal. The green Shoal.
Disrupting
in
Shoal.
Modern, for example.
Yeah. No, there's nothing like that going on. No.
Green Shoal. Nurturing Shoal. To do other stuff. He will just draw 28 and discard. Is that his plan?
Well, the thing is now Kennedy, with this Lotus Petal, can reanimate his Children of Koilos.
Oh, yeah.
And gain a bunch more life.
But what is he going to do with all this life?
Well,
is there anything else?
That remains to be seen. Draw more cards. And he's a Dark Ritual now.
All right. Yeah, reanimate the child. So he lost 14 life this turn.
so far.
So he's gonna lose one more.
Another
to
Dark
reanimate.
Ritual. And
Does he
Alistair
have,
Kennedy.
Tendrils of Agony.
Alistair Kennedy, truly of the old school. On his deck list, he's registered his Lotus Petals and his Dark Rituals in the land slot.
Yeah.
Because they're mana sources. That's sweet. All right, so Reanimate brings back the Children of Coilus.
So he lost 15 life this turn.
Yep, down to 6. And
Up
sacrifice
to
that
31? No, 21.
and gain all that life right back. The combo finish for this deck is unclear to me at this stage. We shall
Is he
see.
just gonna pass the turn? I don't see any way he can win on that turn. That's pretty sad when you like 28 cards and you just can't finish.
Yeah, if you've drawn that many cards, I feel like you should be able to win the game on the spot.
Unless I'm missing something.
Unless we're missing
because-
something here. We'll look over the list. It's just a bunch of disruption, blue cards, and then this reanimation package here.
Oh, I guess. Oh, I see what you can do. Yeah, I think I understand.
Go on.
So he's going to draw his whole deck.
Yep.
And have a lot of mana with Dark Ritual.
But there's no storm cards, right? There's no
No, but doesn't
tendrils
matter.
or
At
anything.
some point, he'll have enough mana to cast Emrakul, to hardcast Emrakul.
Oh, hardcast Emrakul will take another turn.
I see.
All
Took
right.
me a little while to.
All right. So let's see how it goes here. Alistair Kennedy in the process of going off, and Sebastian Finks is just F6ing. F6ing like a
pretty
madman.
Pretty cool combo.
So how does he generate all this mana?
Because the only cards he will shuffle back in his deck
Yeah.
are going to be Dark Rituals.
Ah, of course, because he discards the he can discard an Emrakul.
And he has a Collective Brutality to discard the Emrakul.
Yeah.
So he's going to shuffle. He's going to reanimate his children first
Mm-hmm.
to have access to a lot of life. Because I don't know how many life has he lost this turn? 21, 22? He's going to be able to go through his whole deck
Yep, several times.
several times.
Several times. Okay. So we kind of got a loop going on here as Kennedy draws another 7. So let's break it down from the beginning. Reanimate an Emrakul.
Yep.
Get a Children of Coilus into play.
No, he reanimated Gristlebrand.
Sorry, reanimate a Griselbrand. Get a Children of Coilus into play.
Yep.
Draw a bunch of cards.
Yep.
Sacrifice the children to get back the life that you you gained. Draw a bunch more cards.
Yep.
Right.
Get the
Lotus
children
Petal, Dark Ritual out a bunch of mana. Discard an Emrakul to shuffle your graveyard, including all those rituals and Lotus Petals, back into your deck, and then keep looping the Children of Coilus in and out of the graveyard, right?
Yep.
Gaining a bunch more life to draw a bunch more cards with Griselbrand. It is one of the most convoluted combo decks you're ever going to see,
It's cool.
but it's very, very cool.
You only need one children.
Cool as a cucumber, I would say.
Yeah.
Cool perhaps even as an eggplant.
All right.
Maybe not that cool.
Close enough. You only need one children.
Yeah.
One child.
You only need one child. You only need a single child. One single rebellious teen. So, Kennedy continues to loop.
Oh, he can Cabal Therapy himself.
Oh, right, yeah.
Discard,
And name the... I was going to say, because this deck's been around for a while, long before Collective Brutality was printed. So he can Cabal Therapy himself here. Name Emrakul. Oh, and he had one in hand.
Yeah. He's showing his hand because he has to reveal. So he has what, 7 mana left?
7 mana in pool. Oh, sorry, 8. He's got 1 white from a Lotus
Oh, one
Petal.
white. Yeah, right.
So he can recast the Children of Coilus.
So he'll have enough to sacrifice the children.
Yep.
Gain 21 or 28. I don't know how many times he's drew already.
Again, a whole stack.
Yeah, he gains a lot of life.
Yeah.
He can bring it back with Shallow Grave. He can bring it back with a lot of different things. Oh, yes.
So it looks like they need to figure out exactly what was going where when this whole thing was. I think the Cabal Therapy stays in the graveyard because it hadn't finished resolving by the time the Emrakul trigger resolved.
I think it piles. I think the Cabal Therapy.
So the Cabal Therapy is in the bin when the Emrakul triggers.
I think so because it triggers while resolving, but then you resolve at the end.
You can't have another trigger resolving while a spell is in the process of resolving, right?
Well, I guess
I don't know. I'm not a judge.
I guess I'm wrong, but
I'm just an idiot
if
who
it
gets paid to
stays
talk
there,
about
I
magic.
guess I'm wrong.
So
But it should be in the deck, I think.
who knows? Who knows? Well, lots of people know.
It's not exactly relevant here because he's gone off, and I don't think he can fizzle at this point.
No, it seems unlikely. The enormous amount of life that he's going to be able to
And he has an entomb as well, so... Alright, that's what I said. Cabal Therapy should be in the deck. Because
So
you can't resolve a trigger in the middle
of a spell
resolution
resolving.
of
Yeah,
spell.
Yep. So, Kennedy shuffles it back in. Gonna have another little shuffle Reno here. Some of the finest shuffling action you're ever going to see, ladies and gentlemen. Finks may join in on that as well. Kennedy presumably keeping track of how much life he's going to gain off that Children of Koilos. Super weird card.
So now, even if he misses, if his deck is not modulo 7, if it's the last card of his deck, he can still entomb Emrakul to shuffle his deck. Shuffle his graveyard into his deck.
Yep. Yeah, as Emrakul says, when it's put into a graveyard from anywhere, which includes... That's cool, man. 1 black mana, shuffle your graveyard into your deck. Sweet.
That's awesome. That's the best card.
Best card.
Would you play it?
So, Kennedy up to 50. Going to draw, well, not quite his entire deck, but all but 1 card. Doesn't even look at all of them. He's like, in response, draw 7 cards. In response, draw 7 cards. Doesn't even need to look at them. He just knows he wants his whole deck in his hand.
It's a 21 cards.
Because there's no way for him to whiff here, because even if that last card is an Emrakul, he can entomb it and not lose the game.
All right.
All right. So we're going to sort these cards like a sealed pool, you know, playable, unplayable, good, not needed.
1 mana.
Yep.
Land source. Because you need to time walk here. So you need to hard cast Emrakul.
Yes, yeah.
You don't want to reanimate Emrakul here.
Because they don't do anything. You pass the turn and then they've got whatever. So Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual.
So that's...
Gain 10.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, 8. Each of them adds 2. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So 15 black and one white there. And Finks has finally seen enough. Kennedy here demonstrates how he's going to win the game. And Finks, as a result, packs him up. And I don't think you can quite believe it.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool deck. And Kennedy's very happy with that win. He's picked up a fair few of them as well at 8 and 1 as we start our coverage of day number 2 here. He's done pretty well with himself. A cheeky little chuckle as well.
After we haven't really seen Storm yesterday. We saw Storm yesterday as the only combo deck in the feature material.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a combo deck.
Oh, definitely a combo deck, yeah.
Yeah. Between Reanimator and combo.
But I mean, well, my question for you is then, isn't Reanimator just a combo deck? Like straight up Reanimator? I'd call that a combo deck. 2-card combo.
Is it?
I think so.
Just Reanimate.
It's an archetype of its own?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, fair enough. All right. Kennedy really having a good old think about things there.
I think he's looking at the curtain behind.
As he sideboards.
We have some pretty cool arts in the curtain behind.
Yeah. Let's have a look at what's going on in the sideboards here. Kennedy is looking at a sideboard that has something of a transformational nature. He's got 2 lands, a Tundra and a Plains, in addition to 4 copies of Monastery Mentor and 2 copies of Dark Confidence. So can sort of reposition his deck when they bring in all of their Flusterstorms and extra counter spells and what have you.
Surgical extractions.
Surgical extractions, exactly. To just slam and jam with Monastery Mentor and Dark Confidence. Fairy Macabre as well. Chain of Vapor, although it looks like Camor of Vapor with the way that Kennedy's written it here. Bemoin Trinity, don't know what that card is. Serenity, Defense Grid, and Massacre. Do you have any idea what that card is there? I think it's Echoing Truth, but it really does look like Bemoin.
It's Echoing Truth, yeah.
I'm not trying to throw too much shade at Alistair Kennedy here. He's got the handwriting of an architect.
Broming Wrath.
Broming Wrath. Yeah. So it's either Echoing Truth or Broming Wrath. On the other side of things, Sebastian Fink, Surgical Extraction, Flusterstorm, Red Elemental Blast, Pyroblast, Hydroblast. He's blasting in all over the place. Bitter Blossom, Liliana Chandra, Marsh Casualties, Toxic Deluge, Engineered Explosives, and Diabolic Edict. And I tell you what, his handwriting, he looks straight up like a Auger.
What?
Auger.
Auger.
Auger. The Tintin author.
Tintin. Oh.
Tintin.
Oh, Hergé.
Hergé.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The Bergin.
The Belge.
Because his handwriting looks like he illustrates comic books for a living. It is fantastic. Now, is Finks, what's going through his head? Is he just going slamming those surgicals, slamming those Flusterstorms, and calling it a day, or does he recognise that something like Marsh Casualties and Toxic Deluge are actually going to be useful here?
Marsh Casualties might not be that good, actually.
Against Monastery Mentor?
Yeah.
I guess not. Yeah, okay. Just a single...
Dark Ritual could save everything.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
So I would not actually...
Okay, what about EE? Engineered Explosive. Fantastic.
That would be good.
So does he bring that in?
I don't know.
Does he know?
He should know.
He should know.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah, man. It's not immediately clear. Because surgical extraction, if Kennedy... How many cards does Kennedy have to take out to get rid of this this combo? Way too many, right? 4 Shallow Grave, 3 Gorya's Vengeance, 2 Reanimate, 4 Entomb. So he has to keep some number of reanimation cards in. He can't take all of those out.
I mean, the Reanimates are pretty good with Monastery Mentor.
Oh, that's true. Monastery Mentor, yeah,
So
for
I think you keep Reanimate. Maybe you take out the Shallow Graves and Gristlebrain and Emrakul. And probably Chill of Corliss because it's
And then the Entomb as well. That's more than 15 cards,
Entomb,
though. Like, you
yeah.
can't just turn into Esper midrange.
with Brumming Wrath, maybe.
Broming Wrath might be a really important part of that puzzle. But I'm saying that even if he shuffles his entire sideboard into his deck
Yeah.
and then takes out the entire reanimation package, that's still not
Somebody-
15
yeah,
cards.
He has 6 cards, so 2 lands, 4 Mentors, 2 Dark Confidant, Chain of Vapor, no. Echoing Truth, probably not.
No.
Serenity. What does Serenity do?
Serenity destroys all enchantments and artifacts at the beginning of the
No,
next
but
upkeep.
in that match, nothing.
Oh, and this matchup does nothing.
Defense Grid, probably not.
No, it's okay against like what counterspells and whatever.
Massacre.
No, a lot of these cards don't do anything. I think Kennedy can't go all in on the 15 card substitution here, but he may come close, bringing in the Monastery Mentors and the Dark Confidence.
8 cards.
Tundra Plains, creatures. Yeah, sure. Seems decent. Well, let's see what's up now as both these players shuffling away. Shuffle Cam 2018, ladies and gentlemen. We do hope you enjoy the finest of Legacy Shuffling live coming your way from GP Birmingham. My name's Riley Knight. I'm joined by Raphael Levy,
Oh, hello.
my partner in crime here.
So I think he might take out the Shallow Graves, the Gristlebrand, and Emrakul, because Entomb is actually not so bad with Cabal Therapy.
Okay.
So if you have a Mentor in play, you go Entomb, get a token, put Cabal Therapy in the graveyard, play Cabal Therapy,
Oh, yeah.
sacrifice a token.
Flush it back. Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
Just the way the Grixis the Young Pyromancer decks
Yeah.
do with
Use it with Cabal Therapy. Yeah, of course, because if you flash back a Cabal Therapy using the Sacrifice a Creature mode, you immediately get the creature back anyway because of the trigger.
And since you Entombed, so you got a
You
token
already got a
already.
token,
You
yeah.
already got a token.
Yeah, it's a build your own weird Thoughtseize. So these guys going into game number 2 here, and
I like that. I like that idea. It's very hard to kill too. Monastery Mentor is it's gonna be hard to kill.
yeah, nice
Especially
resilient
when it
threat.
comes back with Reanimate.
I mean, it dies to Fatal Push. Not very good against Diabolic Edict, but Murderous Cut takes care of it.
Yeah, but just the creatures, the 1/1 prowess. If he has 2/1 prowess, that's pretty hard for.
Yeah, I guess he's playing
pretty good.
Gitaxian Probe. He's playing Ponder and Brainstorm. Yeah, all right.
Doesn't
Well-
need much for the Mentor to be good. Even if it dies the turn after it's been cast, still pretty good.
And you can often set up a turn with a Mentor where
Yep.
you can enable, at least 1 or 2 tokens to get off. I mean, the card's good enough to be restricted in Vintage, so sure. It's got a fine pedigree.
In which format? Vintage.
Vintage, mate.
All right.
Vintage.
All right.
Kennedy, he's sticking with his 7. Looks like Finks is in the tank about it. Let's see what he wants to do. And he's going to start off with Thoughtseize of a basic Plains.
Swamp. That's a swamp.
Of a basic Swamp.
Yeah.
If he played a Thoughtseize of a basic Plains, I think that'd be very, very different indeed. Here's a Dark Confidant in the hand of Kennedy, so we can see that at least he's started on that mid-range plan, at least on with 1 card. A couple of cantrips, an Entomb as well as a Thoughtseize there. See what he wants to get busy with. In fairness, the Swamp and the Plains look very similar.
Yeah, one is black, one is white, but yeah, if
You know what?
if you can't see the colors,
I don't see color in that way.
but white and black, are they colors really?
Look, I'm going to
Other
lean very
colours.
heavily on the excuse of being colorblind. It's got me out of a lot of jams in the past. So I'm going to just say I'm colorblind and I can't tell the difference between black cards and white cards.
All right. So what do you take here? Do you take Dark Confidant just in case he drew a land? Or do you take... There's another option that says that I would go... If you go for Ponder and there's no land the first 4 cards, then he's in a good shape.
Well, Finks has gone for the other Thoughtseize there. Wants
Oh,
to
you go for
protect what's going
Thoughtseize,
on in
yeah.
his hand here.
There were a lot of options here.
Kennedy's going to play open, which I like. I want to see this more.
I don't like it.
I really
I
like
don't
it,
like
man.
it.
I think it's really good. It saves time.
Yes.
It stops people fiddly farting around.
Thank you. But when you brainstorm and ponder, what are you going to do?
Sure, pick up your cards.
Yeah, okay.
Because then at that point, there's no information about what is and isn't in your hand. But a ponder now. Pop two of them
pretty
good.
good,
On top.
two
He's
lands.
found the land that he needs.
Found 2 lands.
So draws a card and puts it into play as a...
No, I look.
going to have to probably pass the turn there, old Ken Dog.
I like how he
Play-
showed the land. Look, I got the land. So
I got that. Ponder, man, I found it. Look, hey, everyone.
That-
I got the land I need.
That actually happened to me a couple times. Like at Ponder, you're so happy to see the land when you don't have no lands. You just play.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I did it. I did it, everyone.
Like,
You
it
run
got-
around high-fiving everyone.
Got me in trouble because I actually played the land.
Oh, jeez, did
Yeah,
you?
I was so happy.
Yeah, it's happy. I was like,
the
oh,
land. Yes,
slam
I
it.
got the second land. That was my turn 1 and I had 2 lands in play.
Here's a brainstorm now.
But didn't happen for too long.
Fix-
I got it back in my hand just for the story.
Just for, yeah, okay, sure. You didn't get that free explore. Finks, after playing a Delta ships, Kennedy also plays a Delta now with a brainstorm. Draw 3 cards. Going to put 2 of them back on top. Maybe even shuffle them away with that Delta there.
Yeah, the children. So he kept the children. So I guess he has some kind of. He kept some kind of combo.
Don't know. Entomb's going on top.
Seems-
No, children Entomb going back on top.
Yeah, so maybe.
As in he kept the children in his deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was not in my plan.
Here's
I
a
don't-
Gataxian Probe.
I didn't think he would keep it. So I guess I got it wrong.
So Gataxian Probe revealing Force, Leovold, Brainstorm, and 2 Landerinos there.
So the question is, what do you not take because it's a probe? You always feel like, maybe I'm going to take the Force of Will here. Oh, but I'm not taking.
Oh,
it in
yeah.
the sense of
You cast
thought
Gataxian Probe and then immediately start thinking, which card? Oh, wait, no.
Nah.
Doesn't work. So Finks now scoops up the hand. And a polluted Delta. We're going to see this Thoughtseize fight off.
Yeah, he doesn't want the children anywhere. Oh, maybe we can see his deck if he kept the Crystal Brains.
Let's have a look.
So Mentor we've seen. Emrakul.
I think you just
Yeah,
You-
Emrakul, Shallow Grave.
you shave the
No, Emrakul, Shallow Grave does not work. Shallow Grave is
it's an instant.
Is it? Oh,
It
it
is
does,
an
it,
instant,
yeah,
yeah.
it does work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work with Reanimate.
No, because Reanimate
sorcery,
Sorcery. No, Goryo's Vengeance and Shallow Grave all work perfectly well. Get a Scrubland.
But I haven't seen a Gristlebrand. Maybe he kept like 1 Gristlebrand.
I think you shave down on the reanimation thing because again, there's just not enough cards to take
Yeah.
out or to bring back in if you take out the whole package. Fink's on track to cast Leovold Emissary of Tress next turn, unless Kennedy has something to say about it with this Thoughtseize. Let's see what Finks has to say about it.
He's gonna
Can force, yeah,
Oh, okay.
forces the issue here with the Brainstorm being pitched to it. So really going to go all in on the Emissary here. Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal?
that's the handshake.
The big handshake in the face?
handshake. I could have a deal. Well, I'm wondering here, would it have been better to just brainstorm a response to Thoughtseize and protect his Leovold? Like if he brainstorms, put Leovold on top, even leave the force of will on like in his hand, just for Alistair to find it.
What if he draws 3 Leovolds though?
Then fine, he takes 1. But that's not bad. That's not. I mean, I'm not sure about that.
No,
Force of Will.
I think that it was okay. Not strictly necessary, right?
I think it's just not great.
So there are 2 things to note here. Often you will force a Thoughtseize if you want to protect not only the contents of your hand, but also the information as to what's in your hand, right? But that information had already been given away by Fink's last turn,
Yes, so I'm not-
previously to a Gataxian Probe. So that there's no gain in doing that. Brainstorm could have drawn 3 cards and then put a card and the Leovold on top in order to protect it from the Thoughtseize. So you're saying Fink's pulling the trigger on a force there, ultimately pretty unnecessary.
I believe so.
All right.
I mean, you could just keep the Leovold if he had another card he wanted to protect, but his hand was Leovold, Brainstorm, and Force of Will.
So there's no real reason. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have 3 cards he needs to protect.
So in any case, he lost Force of Will, Brainstorm, and Leovold.
Mm.
Well, they would not have been in his hand.
But he'd still have 1 more of them.
He would have 1 more.
He'd
card,
have 1
yeah.
more of those 3 cards. Well, in any case, Finks has slammed the Emissary of Trest into play here.
Or 2, because he would have put 2 lands on top of his deck, and he would have had like 2 more cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think brainstorming in response may have been a little bit better. Was he tapped out? No, because he fetched. In any case, that's the way the cookie crumbles here. And Finks now
Leovold pretty good against Griselbrand.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Do you pay 7? Okay,
Pay 7,
cool.
draw 1 in your opponent's turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
I've seen better cards.
And here's a Jace the Mind Sculpt to follow things up here for Sebastian Finks. Going to bounce that Dark Confident. Jace on unsummoned mode and now in for 3. Look at this, the tempo game from Finks.
Yeah, I like the strategy of the Monastery Mentor,
Yeah,
but it doesn't quite work when you don't draw it.
that's true.
Because your deck is not exactly explosive if you don't have it.
It's true of a lot of cards, though.
Yeah, but he's
It's not a very good card if you don't draw it.
No, but so funny, Riley, so funny. Now I'm saying if that's his strategy now. Like he's not relying on the Reanimator plan as much as on the Mentor and the Mentor strategy.
Going to Entomb now with the Flooded Strand on the stack as well to make things easier. Search out for two cards. No, are we casting Entomb? Okay, yes we are. All right, that makes sense.
So you're gonna put
Griselbrand. All right. Well, I must have some way to deal with this Leovold.
well, just having a 7/7 flying
Lifelink. I
guy.
mean, that's also pretty good.
That's okay.
It's also pretty good. So Entomb,
Well, not against Jace.
and we'll see what Kennedy's up to now.
Yeah, I'm
Cabal
not.
Therapy.
It just doesn't want to draw it.
Dark Confident again.
Yeah, that could be actually.
Just thinning his deck out of a dead draw.
I don't want to draw Griselbrand.
Yeah,
so I'll
all right.
just put it in there.
Pop it in the bin. Here's the Dark Confident. Oh, buddy. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, buddy. Oh, no. So he's going to reorder the top 3 cards of his library.
And not draw.
Okay, all right. Just a really bad index.
It's a thumb. Is that no? What's the name of that finger?
This finger?
Yeah,
Your index finger?
index. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a thumb.
It's a thumb. It's not index, it's thumb. All right. It's pinky.
A pinky. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why this is an index finger. There's nothing written on here that tells you information about the other fingers and where to find them. In comes the 3/3 once again.
It might be the other way around. An index is called that because of your finger. Because you're pointing with your finger, your index finger.
And now once again, Jace playing that tempo game, unsummoning the Dark Confident, and Finks, it seems to be just walking all over Kennedy here. Never really letting him get his snoot into this game properly.
Do you know who was on that art of index?
It looks like an old grandpa, man.
Yeah. Which grandpa?
I have no idea.
I think it's Graf. It's the white planeswalker from one of the 9 Titans.
All right.
He's not his pictures on the white planeswalker enchantment from Planeshift, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a pretty bad card, so I'm not too worried about it. Cabal Therapy, the big whiskey. And here's Shallow Grave now. So Emrakul is going to come in and get some work done.
Griselbrand. Oh, he's
Sorry.
going to attack Jace. Just gain
Griselbrand.
7.
It's business time.
It's business. It's business time. So he does have the Guru's Vengeance in his sideboard. Shallow Grave is the only Reanimator spell he kept. Or maybe Reanimate, actually.
Griselbrand does have haste. Going to get busy for 7. Not going to draw Kennedy any extra cards, buddy.
Oh.
It goes down to 3. Oh, no, he did it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, Raph. That's very unfortunate.
Well, at least we're killing Jace.
At least killing Jace.
That's a lot of life. No, that's actually even. 'Cause
He's just gained back the 7 that he spent. Yeah. Oh, friend. Alistair Kennedy. That is rough stuff. And he remembered from the Ponder as well.
Yeah. He was just too excited.
Too excited to slam and jam with an Emrakul. With a Griselbrand. They don't look anything alike. One's a Spaghetti Monster, the other's a hooker-handed big beady boy. And sacrificing the Emrakul there. Oh my goodness me!
Griselbrand.
You commentate, all right? I'm going to go and do something else.
That's Griselbrand. That's not Emrakul. So the difference with these reanimator spells compared to the new ones, that when you bring something in play, that exiles it whenever it dies. With the old ones, if they die, they just go to graveyard.
Yeah, yeah.
So same thing with Corpse Dance. That was a pretty good combo with Bullet Gnomes. You would Corpse Dance at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
They're exiled if you don't do anything with them. But if you bounce them or if you sacrifice them, they still go to graveyard. So Gristlebrand and Shallow Grave works that way. That works that way.
Gristle Daddy back in the bin there.
Exactly at the beginning of the end.
So if you can avoid a way to exile it in that way, then yeah. You
it's
can
the top creature card of your graveyard, so that the order matters with that card as well.
Well, again, this is why we can't have graveyards reordered in Legacy. Something that I think is a bit of a confusion to any player who is used to playing Modern Standard, where you can shuffle your graveyard like your Brian Kibler. Here's Dark Confident coming back for the a third encore now.
But this one you can get the card in your hand. You don't draw it, so it's fine with Leovold.
So let's see what Finks wants to do now. The Emissary of Trez has been wheeling and dealing for quite some time now. And Kennedy put to the task now. He's facing down 5 points of damage here, only on 7.
Probably trade.
Just trade the Snip Snap against the Bobski.
Yeah.
All right.
His next side is probably Emrakul, the actual Emrakul. To take 15.
So.
But he has a brainstorm, so he could have made sure this was not an Emrakul. However, there's a Leovold, so Brainstorm not too good.
Brainstorm not so good. Draw 1, put back 2. Okay, Kennedy chooses not to entomb. Going to trust the top of the deck here, and packs it up. Okay, well, unfortunate stuff there for Kennedy, and perhaps not necessarily always aware of the restriction placed on the game by the Emissary of Tress there. Leovold's certainly a tricksy card. He's a tricksy little hobbit. He's a tricksy elf.
So what kind of advice does Leovold give? Is it
to opponents?
Or just in general?
In general?
What's his job?
To opponents, his advice is don't draw any extra cards.
He's a bureaucrat.
He is a bureaucrat, and he's. I tell you what, Raf, he's bloody good at his job.
Yeah. What does he do?
He buries the opponent in paperwork. He makes them unable to access the top of their library. Right.
Yeah, okay.
Every time they want to target him or anything else with a spell, they say, "Excuse me."
Is it tax collector?
Fill out this form.
Is it tax collector?
He's a tax collector, is what he is.
All right,
he's wheeling and dealing with the best of them, getting them to sign forms, dot T's, and cross I's.
He knocks on your door when you haven't paid.
That's it. He's saying, "Excuse me, did you receive our bill?" Well, I think you'll find that it's come due. Need that money. And then the big winner's handshake from him is my favorite part about the card. The high elbow handshake, Yes. It's when you bolt them and you've got 4 more bolts in your hand and you're like, good game.
Do you think he handshakes before the game?
Do you reckon he does the game 2 handshake?
Do you think that's his greeting handshake? Hello, sir. Like, hello. I'm here to help.
Yeah. And then did you reckon he does the game 1 handshake? Before game 2, like in between?
Oh, he gives the paperwork like handshake.
Yeah.
Like, you can fill it out now.
He loves his handshakes.
Yeah.
I guess he's an associate of Edric, the Spymaster of Trest as well, the one who draws all the cards. Yeah. So the Spymaster comes back with the info, and then Leovold sits there and goes, right, well, according to our sources, oh, look at this, you owe us even more cards. Our Spymaster has nicked them, and now we're going to get more off you. Bills come due. Time to pay up. I don't know when he went from being an emissary to a tax man.
Oh, yeah.
Or a tax elf, excuse me. An emissary is a very different thing. An emissary is like someone who works at a consulate,
That's right.
Like an ambassador.
Yeah. So how can that be?
I don't know.
How can that go hand in hand?
He's pushing a very aggressive foreign policy with Trest.
Well, he has a lot of corde à son arc, a lot of strings to his bow. That's how you say it in French.
Yeah, we say that in English as well.
Too.
Which doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you want more than one string on your bow? To fire multiple arrows at the same time? I think you could still do that with. I mean, I've seen like documentaries, by which I mean Lord of the Rings films, where people shoot more than one arrow from the single bowstring.
Legolas do.
Legolas does that
with 2 or 3 arrows, right?
He's just like 4 at one point.
But with one string though.
With one string, that's what I'm saying. So you don't need more than one string. Legolas has just like one string, dude. He takes down an entire elephant with it.
Yeah, it's just how can you aim as well? It's like shooting with two guns. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't.
You can't.
Yeah. No, you cannot.
Can you actually not?
No, you cannot.
Okay, I don't know.
It's been like
I don't know anything about
not
them.
proven, but
Well,
like
again,
tested.
have you ever watched or played the documentary Halo? I mean, Halo
with
2,
two
at
guns.
least. He
No,
learns how
but
to do
you
it.
can't aim with 2 guns. Like it's almost impossible.
I can't contribute to this
telling-
conversation. I believe you.
I'm telling
I
you, I'm
believe
telling
you.
you.
You
It's-
know more about
it's
combat than...
it's easier to shoot with 1 gun, like two bullets, and aim 2 bullets.
Yeah.
Than with 2 guns, it's too hard.
Okay. All right. I'm not disputing it.
I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you.
not
It's
disputing it.
It's a piece of information.
I'm
that
not
you should-
disputing it.
You should keep in mind.
For
If you
those
ever
of
have
you,
2 guns,
if you ever have 2 guns, pop
Just-
one in your pocket.
yeah, exactly.
For those of you who may not know this, Raf, this is not a joke. Raf is, or was, the French national champion of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? He's a brown belt. And I was I was fascinated to learn this the first time I met him. I was having a chat with him. And I was asking about, different combat things and the way you would approach, like, self-defense in certain situations. And I said, oh, well, what do you do if someone comes at you and they've got, like, a gun? And you're like, and you just looked at me and you went, you run. You don't try to fight them. I'm like, all right. What if they come at you, like, with a knife? And you say, you run. You don't try to fight them like that.
what if they come with a bow with 2 strings?
They come with a bow with 2 strings. What do you do then, Raf?
Well, I don't know. If he doesn't have any arrows, then I'll probably not run.
What would you do if in a dark alley one night, right,
Yeah.
you met Legolas
Cool.
with a bow,
All right.
with 2 arrows and 2 strings?
I would probably try to wake up at some point.
Would you grapple him or would you...
I would try to wake up. Cause
Okay, but would you seriously, would you run or would you fight an
Depends
elven
how big
archer?
he is.
Well, he's very light. Don't have the weight advantage on you.
I don't know. If he's aiming at me, I'd probably run.
Probably right. Well,
Yeah.
but then he's going to hit you. There's no way that you could dodge his arrows, mate.
It depends how far he is.
There's no way. Have you seen how good an archer Legolas is?
Okay, I'd probably die.
I think you got to get up. No, you got to get up in his grill, man.
Yeah,
You
probably.
got to get right up in his grill. Oh, there's a game of Magic going on. Ladies and gentlemen, well, live coverage of GP Birmingham continues. My name's Riley, joined by Raphael Levy. In the feature match area, it is Alistair Kennedy and Sebastian Finks. These guys on 8-1. We're heading into game number 3. Kennedy handily picking up game number 1 after comboing off with his Children of Koilos and Gristlebrand. And Sebastian Finks, game number 2 with Leovold, the emissary of Trest. Talking about this card somehow led us to imagining a fantasy fight between you and Legolas in a dark alley somewhere. Right now, however, basic swamp and ship the turn for Kennedy. Nothing doing on turn number 1. We'll see what Finks has to do here.
This hand not so good. Oh, is it a mentor? Or is
Mentor
it
in hand.
children? Oh, never mind. Yeah, I thought it was a children. So that hand could actually be pretty good.
And a thought seize now for Sebastian Finks, and we're going to see exactly what's up here with Kennedy.
Not as good anymore. The mentor was the centerpiece of his hand. If he managed to cast it on turn 2, that would have been great.
Yeah,
However,
with
this
a Lotus
is
Petal.
not happening.
Monastery Mentor is, quite the card. Never really saw much play in Standard. Still hasn't broken into the Modern format, but it overturned Vintage. Took a while, but once it had caught on, eventually there was very little reason not to play Mentor in all of these, blue-based decks.
In Legacy, it was very good in Legacy. Early in
It was,
Legacy.
with
in Miracles.
In Miracles, it was brought in from the sideboard a lot of the time. Yeah, that's true.
It was sometimes the main deck.
Okay,
Sensei
sure.
Divining Top.
Certainly didn't have the impact that it did in Vintage, however. I think one of the worst things about Monastery Mentor in Vintage, at least, was its color.
White.
Yeah. If this card had been, in any, I think on almost any other color, maybe not green, but if it had been black, blue, or red, the card would have been even more disgusting.
This is why the sideboard strategy of Alistair is maybe a little lacking, because he has so many dead draws at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Like drawing Entombs, Entomb number 2 is.
This is gonna feel
and
awful. So maybe he
it
entombs
feels-
for an entomb.
Yeah, it feels like
Make sure he doesn't draw it.
this deck should be playing a little more cards that benefit from Entomb. For example, Deep Analysis. Just 1 in the deck. It wouldn't cost that much.
Okay.
And you could just dump your Deep Analysis to draw 2 cards and
Yeah.
get a little further in your strategy. I don't know.
Lingering Souls?
I haven't personally played the deck, but it feels like it should be a good addition to this strategy. Just 1 slot in the sideboard, 1 Deep Analysis to come back from this. Also pretty good when you have Mentor.
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't want to play Cabal Therapy, just get Deep Analysis, go deeper in the deck, draw 2 more cards, 2 more active cards to make more tokens.
Because right now Kennedy is doing
Oh.
stone nothing here.
Oh, he just drew a Reanimate. So that has to be pretty good.
How does Kennedy have 3 lands to Finks's 1?
Because I think...
Did Finks Wasteland or Days?
Yeah, no, he missed his land drop.
He's holding a land.
Is he?
He's holding 2 lands.
Well, he misses land drop because he thought seized on turn 1 and then pondered.
I don't understand.
Huh?
I don't understand.
He just.
I think he just forgot to play a land.
Forgot to play a land.
Yeah, he forgot to play a land. All right, okay. Well, that's going to happen to you sometime. That's going to happen to you sometimes.
Sometimes you play one extra land and you don't realize it.
Sometimes
you forget to play a land.
you don't play a land at all.
Realize it too late.
And the problem here, I mean, okay, we can sit here and have a giggle about this, but Finks now has had this mistake exposed thanks to a Gitaxian probe. His opponent now knows that he has made an error, and you can see that Finks is tilted by it. Ref, what's the best strategy? Let's frame this in positive terms and try to learn something from it rather than just throwing a bunch of shade at Sebastian Finks.
Just walk out.
No, mate, come on.
No,
Actually,
all right.
In this situation, he hasn't played a land, and his opponent thinks, okay, he doesn't have any lands in hand, right? Then he plays the Gitaxian probe, sees the mistake. What does Finks do to get his mental game right?
You got to forget about it. You got to get back in the game, but it's hard when you take such a how do you say that? Step back.
Yeah, it's a huge disadvantage here. But like, there's a big change between forgetting to play a land and having your opponent see that.
Yeah.
So completely removed from that game of Magic, Finks now needs to really dial down psychologically and not let that mistake rule the rest of the game for him.
I think it really depends how far back it puts you. If you can still win the game, you have to tighten up. If you just lose because of it, then you never get back in the game. But now he can still force of will.
So force pitching Snapcaster on this Reanimate. I mean, the good news for Finks is Alistair Kennedy is holding, instead of a hand, something that looks a little bit close to a ham sandwich. Is he not going to play a land? No, going to crack that polluted delta. And we're going to see an Entomb. All right.
You know what other card he could play as well?
Go on.
He could play Unburial Rites, just one.
Oh, yeah. Just as an extra way to take advantage of that long game. I like Lingering Souls.
All Lingering Souls.
Lingering Souls is a mid-range sideboard card.
It doesn't take much for your deck to be a little better with Entomb.
The thing is, what Entomb does right now, going and getting a Gristlebrand, I mean, that's great if Kennedy then draws the right sequence of cards, but dumping a Deep Analysis in there is always going to be good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, I like this. I like the flashback tech.
It just feels bad when you join Entomb and with nothing to do with it. Or Entomb number 2 and... Oh, here comes the Shallow Grave. That's a good one to draw after dumping Gristlebrand in your graveyard, in the graveyard.
All right, not a bad one there for Kennedy. Finks did play a land, so that's good. Well, look, maybe he's benefiting from the advice you gave him about, getting his head game right. Although we have had it pointed out in the chat, why would anyone take psychological advice from someone who wants to turn their back on Legolas?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which I think is a fair point.
Yeah. But depends if you have like a way out of the street. If it's a one street...
Okay, then he's just going to bounce an arrow off the other wall and it's going to come round like Hanzo before he got nerfed, and you're going to get scatter arrow to death.
Yeah, we'll just take the corner.
Never turned your back on Legolas. Obviously get up in his face, man. You got all the kicks and punches. You don't do much kicking in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, do you?
No.
No.
I did some kicking before, but no.
So Shallow Grave now bringing back a Gristlebrand. Finks having a quick look at this card. Once again, one of the reasons you can't reorder your graveyard in Legacy, Shallow Grave is doesn't give you too much choice over which card you put into play.
So the good thing is, if Sebastian had Surgical Extraction, for example, since Shallow Grave does not target, Alistair could get his Mentor from his graveyard for a turn. Just the top card, the top creature card. So Gristlebrand hit the battlefield.
Let's see what Finks has to say about this. Obviously, there's no Emissary of Tres to prevent him from drawing all these extra cards now.
With Alistair on 8, he can only draw like...
I think he's already put a trigger on the stack to draw.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, we can only draw once more.
Yep. Still a lot of times, in fairness. And Alistair Kennedy, once again, the lands in front, Alex Ball rubbish.
But
he's taken out of contention.
Sebastian has Call Against Command is in his hand, right? So if Alistair goes down to 1, there would just be he would just be reachable with Call Against Command.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Just bolt him right out the game here. So Kennedy going to have to at least keep that in mind.
Yep.
He's a Diabolic Edict as well. All right. So drawing 7 for Kennedy. But Edict is going to resolve here to prevent this Griselbrand from getting any more damage done. Let's see if Kennedy has anything to say about it. I mean, he can draw another 7, but is that may put him in a...
It could work.
It could. I mean, it could if he finds his Children of Corliss and goes off.
He only needs to draw a Lotus Petal and another Shallow Grave. Oh, he has a Lotus Petal, so he only needs to draw another Shallow Grave. But then I would put him in a bad position if he has to ship the turn. But he would draw 7 more cards, so... So the question he has to ask himself is, would the 7 cards would benefit him more than the 1 card from the next turn? Because if within the next 7 cards, there's nothing... Oh, no, never mind, because he has the first 7 cards to play with.
He's got
already.
14 cards coming if he
it's
activates
fine.
again,
No,
so it's a lot of cards.
I think 1's fine. I think you just stay on 8 and don't...
And stay safe,
You don't take the risk.
Play safe by the water.
Yeah.
So Kennedy now, draw 7. As Griselbrand hits the bin. Because he's seen the contents of Finks' hand.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he has, thanks to that Cataxian probe from earlier.
So here is another Shallow Grave.
The Shallow Grave's not a bad one.
So that should do it.
Because he can play Lotus Petal, get the Shallow Grave on the Griselbrand, and get in for an attack as well.
Yep.
And this one almost certain to connect. Bunch of cards in hand. I think it's 10 cards in hand now. Kennedy might be even 11. Lotus Petal, sack, and a Shallow Grave now on the Griselbrand. And we've just been told that time has been called on the round. So this is currently turn 0. Both of these players have 6 turns, including this one, to end the game. We're going to see Alistair Kennedy go down to 1 now, draw an extra 7.
Actually, it's a fun game to watch.
Yeah. I mean, there's been ups and downs,
I'm
smiles and frowns. We've had laughs, we've had tears, Raph. Been a little bit of everything. Something fun for the whole family.
More laughs than tears.
Certainly more laughs than tears. Another Lotus Petal now. And we're going to see, is this the Children of Corliss as well? Because that is almost certainly game over, right? Okay, playing a land.
Not a fetch land.
Good.
Better when you're on
Good stuff for Kennedy. And Kennedy decides which piece of cardboard he wants to put on the table next. Nope. Okay. Going to send in with the Griselbrand.
You got it right this time.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. You know what? I got my mental game right.
That's good.
Took some time, breathed out.
Missed the land drop, but still got back into it.
That's it, man. I did. Sharpen up. That's it. Get it done.
So is he going to just pass the turn and empty his opponent's hand? Yeah, probably.
So Cabal Therapy, target you.
Probably Call Against Command.
And Finks now. Brainstorm. Okay, that's fine. It's good.
And then...
going to flash it back to take the Snip Snap.
So he has 1 Call Against Command, which is not the best card here in this situation. But he has another Cabal Therapy, I think.
So single Lotus Petal in play now. Monastery Mentor was the white card. And he has brought Defense Grid in.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like he's sculpting that perfect 7 right now. Keeps a land. Going to dump a bunch of creatures. Dark Confident hitting the bin. Is that the 7 he's happy with? Oh, no, Dark Confident's going to stick around. All right. Instead, it looks like it's going to be Gataxian Probe. All right.
Okay, pass the turn.
Over to Finks now. This is turn number 1. Get the big die out.
Land, Call Against Command, and a mysterious card.
So Colligan's Command and an unknown card in hand for Finks. I think this is his game to lose here. Kennedy might be able to put the finishing touches on things.
I'm
Another Lotus Petal. Finks down to 9. Here's an Entomb. What's Kennedy going to go and find here?
Emrakul?
Yep. So shuffle trigger on the stack here. We'll see if Kennedy wants to respond. Because Emrakul is going to shuffle away the entire graveyard. And in response, Shallow Grave. So that's going to bring back the big flying spaghetti monster. And she may start to get busy with her noodly appendages here. But a Flusterstorm from Sebastian Finks. Not a bad rip from him.
Seen 3 mana.
Flusterstorm for 2. 1, 2, 3. Oh, and Kennedy with a Lotus Petal in hand.
Ugh.
Rough stuff.
I think I would have played a little differently.
Yeah?
I think I would have played the Mentor first. Like, you don't need to win this turn. You still have another turn. Play the Mentor. Play Entomb after... play... did he play Lotus Petal this turn?
No.
Or was it last turn? What else did he have in hand? Like, he just had to play the Mentor this turn, pass the turn. There's not much his opponent can do, and just win on the following turn. He can do everything. He can do exactly the same thing, but on the next turn.
Going to cast a Ponder here.
But
So
he
Kennedy-
also he would also have lethal with the tokens.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Kennedy now shuffling thanks to the Emrakul. Already put a Ponder on the stack before that shuffle is finished. So he's going to have a look at the top 3. Finks here treading water, hoping not to go down. Kennedy has this turn and one more turn to seal the deal.
Because that was really the only card that he could win with. Flusterstorm.
Mm.
That was the only card that would actually draw the game.
And he found it.
He found it, but Alistair did not play around it. He could have played around, everything in Sebastian's deck.
Yep. Well, look, I think it's fair to say we've got to give credit where credit is due. It's a very difficult position that both these players are in. 8-1 feature match area. It's there's a lot. The warm glow of the spotlight can certainly impact the way people play, and we're not looking to disparage or have a crack at either of these guys. They've done their best, and for those of you who are gonna,
it's been a long match already.
For those of you who are gonna chuck shade willy nilly at these fellas, I encourage you to have a think about how you may feel. Put yourself in these shoes here. Because it's not as easy as it may seem. So full credit to both of these players for putting on quite a show as well, Raf. That's also something that we should. This has been a very entertaining round.
Yeah. So if you played Mentor, Ponder on that turn, then his opponent could have played Culligan's Command to kill the Mentor, but then he would have had Entomb.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have saved the Mentor.
Yep. Got a couple of tokens.
2 tokens and the Mentor. Pass the turn. And on his turn, he would have played Shallow Grave.
Juice up the Mentors a little bit. Get in there.
And
attack.
then went for...
Easy.
and then attack for 1 million.
Easy game.
Yeah.
Easy game, easy life. Brainstorm now.
So he's... feels bad to leave your pawn at 9 with a full grip of 7 cards.
Yeah. Feels like there probably could have been something to do. But that is the way that she goes here. Looks like Kennedy and Finks are heading for a rather tame draw. Although Kennedy is digging deeper and deeper to try to find a way to get what he needs out of his deck. Brainstorm now, going to cast it.
So what does he need now?
He's digging 1 card deeper. He knows he doesn't want the top 2 cards there.
That's not helping.
And puts 3 cards back on top to that Brainstorm instead of just 2. And ships the turn. Doesn't draw the extra card of the Brainstorm.
No need.
Colligan's Command. And bring back a Snapcaster Mage. Ships a turn. Kennedy down to 5. And it's going to be a draw.
Wow,
So there we go. After a long, hard-fought duel between these two wizards, very little left to say at the end of the round because that is just about that. And we can tell you as well, this match was actually the last one altogether in the round. We're not going to have Time Walk Magic this time around because, we just don't have time for it. As we welcome you back to the booth here on the tournament floor of GP Birmingham, my name's Riley, joined by Raphael Levy, and it has certainly been a great pleasure to have your company here during Good Morning Magic. My friends, you're going to be joined very shortly by Tim Willoughby and, of course, Zimon Gertz, and they're going to round out this Good Morning Magic sort of segment here, this process, and then we're going to head in that short stretch towards the top 8, and we certainly hope we're going to have your company for it. We're going to go to a break, but on the other side of it, stick around because there is much more legacy coming your way from here, GP Birmingham.
Hello and welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Birmingham. I am Tim Willoughby. This is Pro Tour winner Simon Gertzen, Dr. Simon Gertzen, and we had a very long live match. We are going to get a chance to bring you just a little bit more magic from that round, just a little taster, if you will, before we get back into our live magic for our next round here in Birmingham. Let's head back down to the feature match area. We're going to get a chance to see just the... Sorry about that, slight audio issue. All these copies of Thorn of Amethyst, not good against the creatures played thus far by Claudio Maneri, but when there's prowess on all of the creatures in play, that does make them quite a bit more potent. The judge is just stepping in there to point out that the second Thorn of Amethyst does cost 3. Looks like that might just be something that they need to get fixed there, because it's not as if that Eye of Ugin can happily tap for the third point of mana there.
No, it's also not an Eldrazi spell. But Thorn of Amethyst should be very good against the prowess deck, I would assume. This blue-red Delver list is really more of a burn deck almost. So of course there is mono-red burn in Legacy. In this particular case, you are playing blue so that you have access to Delver and some other aggressive cards.
I mean, I don't think that you'll see many Legacy players complaining about, oh no, it turns out the best thing to do is play blue in my list. What am I going to do with this horrible eventuality where I have to be casting Brainstorm and doing all of that other good stuff? That's what Legacy is all about, really, isn't it? So it looks like the Thorn of Amethyst being returned to Julian Fisher's hand, lands untapped and so on and so forth. Ah, interesting. Maybe this is them just walking their way through exactly what happened, making sure that they understand where they're at in the game, what has passed thus far. Bit of an awkward moment to have happen at any time. Conveniently, at least in our feature match area, we have judges to be able to fix exactly this sort of a situation. This is, of course, a time-walked match, so it's not one where we can just sort of barrel on over there and ask what on earth's going on and see if we can figure it all out. Instead, we just have to wait and see how the judges rule on this one.
Well, it seems to be a bit more complicated of an issue. I thought we already saw a rewind, but apparently now there are multiple judges involved trying to solve this.
We have a red shirt, and this is not Star Trek. That does not mean that there's going to be an imminent death on our hands. It just means that we have one of the head judges of this tournament stepping in to give a final ruling, and there won't be any adjustments to that ruling. So a card getting put back on the top of Claudio Maneri's deck there. The Thorn of Amethyst being put back in Julian Fisher's hand. So I think it may just be that Julian Fisher having the opportunity to cast another spell here in place of that Thorn of Amethyst.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. Because it was still an illegal play for 2 mana. Fisher has three lands in play, but Eye of Ugin doesn't tap for mana.
So a second copy of Volcanic Island, and a small attack coming in here from Claudio Maneri. The one Thorn of Amethyst already enough to make life a little problematic when it comes to casting. So Smash to Smithereens, they're dealing with the first Thorn of Amethyst. And that in response to a Thought-Knot Seer, which was able to be cast with 2 mana thanks to the Eye of Ugin that's in play. And Thought-Knot Seer seeing Force of Will and Bedlam Reveler. Just double-checking the text on probably the Bedlam Reveler, I would imagine there. Force of Will, a fairly well-known quantity in Legacy.
I think it's also in Italian, so it doesn't help things.
Claudio Maneri with a fair amount of signed cards in his deck. You can see a signed beta island there for him. Mark Poole is around this weekend, along with a whole host of different artists here at Grand Prix Birmingham. If you happen to be in the Birmingham area, you can get down tomorrow and still get a chance to get a few cards signed.
That True Name Nemesis was a great draw by Minari, just being able to put on a ton of pressure here, and that is another great draw.
Vapor Snag there, bouncing Thought Not Seer. Because Thought Not Seer's left play, Claudio Minari getting to draw a card. Additionally, Julianne Fischer on 3 life with facing down a True Name Nemesis. I think we may be seeing the conclusion of this game.
Juliana can actually attack for quite a bit of damage here. That's 8. That's only 2 off of lethal. But I think she doesn't quite have it.
And there is the handshake. Claudio Minari picking up the win there in our time walk match. That the last of our round 10 here, but conveniently enough, you do not have to wait long for a little bit more magic to come to you here at Grand Prix Birmingham. That was kind of a little Brucey bonus that we